G'day YouTube, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to restore this Morris J2 pickup. Fantastic little model. I've been looking forward to having a go at it. Lesney made this model between 1958 and 1966. There are a few variations. The earlier ones had silver wheels. There were quite a few made that had no rear window. This particular model I think was made around 1963 or 64. One thing they did all have in common is they were all light blue and they all had a similar decal down the side. These early Lesneys are great to do up. I've really been looking forward to doing this one. They're simple, they're robust, no windows, no interior to worry about. Even though I never had one as a kid, like all my early cars were first to the superfast really, I'm going to enjoy doing this up. As per usual, first step is to drill off the top of these rivets. I did drill a 1.5mm hole, but I went straight through the tray. With the heads of the rivets gone, it comes apart pretty easily. Considering its age, this thing is in really good nick. It's a shame I drill a hole through there, but I did tap it, shortened the screw, and then puttied the end, which allowed me to put it back together again. Here we are removing the wheels. As always, one end has a big mushroom end, the other end is just bird, so we carefully remove the burr so we can get the wheels off. One thing I did learn today is to try and hold the tool straight, because if you taper it, it makes it very difficult to put the burr back on at the end. Just admiring my green thumbnail, a remnant of Santa's Rockin' Sled. Yeah, I've just got my finger pushing against the axle and my thumb holding the wheel back, so I've got plenty of room to get that burr off. A couple of drops of white into a light blue I already had, and it's pretty close and didn't take me very long at all, which is a nice change. And now we're ready to strip the body. Sticking to the method that I know works for me, we've got the pre-warmed glass vase, and goes the models, some boiling water and caustic soda. Boiling water and caustic soda sounds like a recipe for disaster, and I reckon if you're not careful it probably could be. And it worked extremely well on this particular paint. It had it stripped within 10 minutes. Alright, got the rotary tool out once again and the wire brush. We're just going to clean all the oxidization off this baby. I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about casting lines and all that sort of stuff, as really these models, it just gives them character. While the Tamiya fine primer is drying, I normally let it sit overnight, but to give these wheels a bit of a clean up, and they are in very good condition. They're just going to get a really good scrub. Now, just to give these wheels some extra shine, I'm just dipping them into this self-shining floor wax. Carefully bleed off the excess, and we'll just leave them in the vise on a toothpick overnight to dry. After doing a bit of googling, trying to find some pictures of a new one of these, most of them only had some silver detail on the grille, headlights and front bumper bar. I know, I'm using a chrome pen instead of silver paint, as you would in a pure restoration, but it's just that it looks so good. And plus I'm not pretending it's something it isn't. I find when using these chrome pens it's best to go quick. I've sped it up here, so I'm not actually that quick. But if you give the ink a chance to dry and then try and move it around, it will turn out dull. And when it gets a clear coat, it'll probably just dumb it down just a fraction. Really pleased the way this is turning out. It's really going to make it pop. Just switching to a slightly thicker tipped pen, a 2mm, and we'll quickly do the bumper. I was actually ready to put the whole thing back together when I realised I hadn't cleaned up these axles. I've put the axles in my Dremel-like tool and knocked most of the rust off with a wire brush in my cordless drill, and now I'm just polishing it up a little bit with I think it's 1200 wet and dry. Now I'm just using a little bit of superfine steel wool, paying particular attention to the mushroomed end because that's the end you're going to see. And to really make them shine, just got the metal polish out and a microfiber cloth. Give them a good buff up and try not to get the cloth caught in the axle. Alright, putting the axles and wheels back in are fairly straightforward. The base there was cleaned, undercoated and shot with some really cheap glossy automotive black paint. I mentioned before keeping the rotary tool grinding bit fairly straight and square with the axle when you're taking the burr off to start with. Because if you get a taper on it, it can take a long time to get a burr bigger enough to hold the wheel on. Tappity tap 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 tap. Vroom. Final assembly time. I think I mentioned earlier that I carelessly drilled my 1.5mm hole straight through the tray of the truck. Well, that's worked out alright, so I got a screw, cut it down, left it in it, which gave me something to hold on to, but also puttied over the top. Now that short screw gives me something to hold the base onto the body. Before we have a look at the final result, a quick reminder of what it looked like back before we started. And for a truck that's, 55 years old, it looks pretty good. It's just missing paint, nothing's broken. It really is quite remarkable. Bump, 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 and here it is. I reckon it looks fantastic. Now I've switched to the Tamiya acrylic glossy clear coat, and I reckon it's made a huge difference. It's had several light coats, let to dry in between for a few minutes, and then one heavy wet coat. Right, I'm sorry I didn't get any video of me putting the water slide transfers on. I had the camera set up, I just didn't press record, I think. But these are from Black Square Decals in the UK, and they are fantastic. They look really professional. They're very thin, and they come off the backing paper really quickly, within 30 seconds after soaking them in water. And they're a little bit fragile. They look fantastic. I'm really, really happy with the way this truck's came out. It has been so much fun to do up. They're really simple to do. They just look fantastic. Right, I've gone and cleared out all the 1/18 out of this display cabinet, and I have a shelf now dedicated to all the models that I do up. And in it goes, a worthy addition. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up, or if you despise what I've done with this little truck, give us a thumb down. Please comment. I'll take any advice or comments on board. These old Lesneys are so much fun to do up and really satisfying. I'm happy the way this one's turned out. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.